What is going on, guys? This is the Inside the Boot podcast, episode number 10 of this podcast. As we were breaking down the New York Rangers tonight, and also the post game from the Carolina Hurricanes against Rangers game. As let's get right into it. The Rangers suffer a 3-2 loss over the Carolina Hurricanes, and Capo Caco and also Tyler Mott getting the goals tonight. It's good to see Tyler Mott keep scoring. He's got 3 goals in the last 4 games. He's been really, tearing it up, and that fourth line has been super good. And you could say it's one of the best fourth lines in the NHL. And also Capo Caco breaking his goal scoring drought. That's great to see from him. And it wasn't the prettiest goal, but he found a way to beat Freddie Anderson, who was good tonight. For the Hurricanes. And Hurricanes are a really strong team, even without one of their best players, Andrei Svechnikov, who is out for the rest of the season with the torn ACL. They still got really good players, and also their defense core is super elite too. I mean, Slavin and Burns were great tonight. I thought even Brady Shea played a good game, and also Brett Pesce. And that's where you get with Carolina. You got a really strong team, and I thought it was a good game from the Rangers. I thought they did a lot of things well, but I also think, some of the things they did, poorly was the power play. I thought the power play, couldn't really get set up, and that's what Carolina, does. They don't allow you to get set up, and they, are a really good penalty killing squad. And like I said earlier, I thought Freddie Anderson played great. But I think Igor Shesterkin was also brilliant for the Rangers. I thought, that game from Igor looked like playoff Igor from last season against Carolina. Shesterkin's tracking and everything was great from him. I had no problems with him on any of the goals. I mean, you would like to have a save on that field goal shot, but that's just a perfect shot. That was really the only one. That was bad to me, but I don't think it was really truly a bad goal. It was just unfortunate to let up. And the other 2 were just, a 5-hole goal, no coverage in front, and then, obviously the game winner from Teuvo Teravainen, the tip-in to win it. And that was a great pass by Brent Burns as well, who is still killing it, even at his age. I mean, he's a really solid pickup for them, and I like what he's doing there. But there's a lot of Rangers. I thought had pretty good games. I thought that fourth line was really strong. I think they just keep playing better each game, and even Tyler Mott. I think these last 2 or 3 games he's been one of the better forwards. But regardless, the Rangers still lead the season series 2-1, and they're still outscoring the Carolina Hurricanes 13-8. And, they get another crack at them on Thursday. So that'll be interesting how that unfolds. But I expect Igor to be back in net on Thursday because, you can't really be mad at him. He played a really strong game, and that's what, us Ranger fans have been hoping for Igor to get out of his slump. And he most definitely has. He now has 5 wins in his last 6 starts. And, the game he had tonight, it really shows promise for these upcoming games and heading into the playoffs because you need Igor Shesterkin to be at his top level if you want to go far in the playoffs, and I think he showed that in last year's playoffs. After he went down 3-1 in Pittsburgh, he fought back and the team fought back, and you make it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, and obviously losing 6, but regardless. After that series, or really in the middle of that series, Shesterkin started to play better, and he started getting more confident, and he's just playing to that elite level that we saw last year in the regular season, and he put it in the playoffs. But regardless, there's been a lot of players that have had really good years, and I don't think people have talked about it enough. And one of those guys is Chris Kreider. He's got another 30-goal season, 32 to be exact, and he's got 5 goals in his last 6 games. Carolina broke his 3-game goal streak, but regardless, I think Chris Kreider has really turned around in the second half. Thought the first half, he wasn't great, but Chris Kreider has started to play better, and they need him to play good in the playoffs. I mean, he's super good on the power play with deflecting the puck, and he does a lot of things well. He throws the body well, as well as, he's just a super strong player. But, I think if you can get a healthy and strong Chris Kreider, which he is right now, into the playoffs, that could be a huge boost to the team, scoring-wise. And this team has scored very well. I mean, you look at the previous two contests, the 6-0 win against Pittsburgh was huge, and then you verse the Nashville Predators, and you throw 7 on them. And obviously, they had a weak lineup, but, 7 goals is 7 goals, right? And it's also good to see Kendrick Miller score a few goals. But, I think Miller had a decent game tonight. He had a few turnovers, and also on one of those goals, he lost the guy in front because he picked up Jordan Staal. Jordan Staal's a really good player, too. I mean, he shoved off Mika off the puck a few times, and, Staal is just a big guy, and he's just super strong, and, I think that's a big element to his game. But, I think another player who's been really, I wouldn't say tearing it up, but has improved is Jacob Trouba, the captain. I think, his first half slump was really bad. And, I thought with him, he needed to get back to playing like Jacob Trouba. And, he's really been throwing the body hard today. And, that's what he's kind of here for, is, use his physical presence and, even score. He's got 2 goals in the last 6 games now, as of today, and, I mean, that's just what you need out of Jacob Trouba. I'm not saying, score a bunch of goals, but, getting his offensive presence is huge for the Rangers, Sorry. And also Philip Hedl. It's really nice to see him get his 20th goal of the season. And he's even only playing a third-line role. So, you're getting 20 goals out of a third-line center. That's big. And, Hedl, he was on a heater. But then, he went into a slump. And, maybe a goal, could really boost, and we see the Philip Hedl that we saw in those last 10 or so games. But, this has been a good stretch of games for the Rangers. 6-1-1 in your last 8, and the offensive presence has shown. This team is really showing that they can score and outscore their opponent, and also getting Ryan Lindgren back was huge. And tonight, honestly, it scared me when I saw him going back to the locker room. But, he came back, and I thought he played pretty decent. He's obviously still getting back into the rhythm. But, I thought, it was a good game against Carolina. But, that's just how sometimes it goes. And it was really the next goal that was going to really win that game. And they scored with 2 minutes remaining. And, I wish they could have gotten at least a point. But, that's just how the game went. And, good for Carolina. Now they've reached the 100-point mark this season. And how about we talk about Mika March, man? This guy, whenever it's March, he just gets going. Mika Zibanejad, he's really, becoming an elite player. And, I think he showed that in last year's playoffs, and I think he's showing that now, is that when it's Mika March as well, it's a good month for Mika. Entering the game against Carolina, he had 13 points in 10 games in March, but he did not record any points tonight. And it looks like, Patrick Kane is also starting to, get settled in with the Rangers. I think he's playing a lot better, but, I think there was some times tonight that I thought, he's turning the puck over a bit with his long passes, but, he'll be fine. Regardless, I'd liked how, he's been playing, and I think, one of the main guys that I haven't even mentioned yet is Vinny Trocheck. This is a guy that, honestly, when I was making my predictions, I wanted, a solid, 56, 60 point, season out of Vinny Trocheck. But, right now he's on pace for 67 points, and his career high was 75 with Florida a few seasons ago. And for this team, what I would like to see is just really play strong defensively. I mean, that's really my big question mark heading into the playoffs, is how is this team going to play defensively. And I thought they played good tonight defensively against Carolina. But, there was a point in that game where Carolina was just taking over. After they killed that penalty off the first time, they just had the momentum, and, that's just how that went. I think the Rangers didn't get a shot until a little after halfway through that period. But, it'll be really interesting to see how the Rangers come back from this loss against the Carolina Hurricanes. They got another shot at them Thursday. But, the regular season is almost over. And, right now, honestly, I fully expect this team to play the New Jersey Devils. Give me the Devils. I don't know if I could see them passing Carolina, even with the Svechnikov injury. And that's a huge blow to Carolina, by the way. And I thought, with that injury tonight, the Rangers would, take advantage of it. But, props to Carolina getting 2 points and, not even having to go to overtime. Because, the Rangers have been in a lot of overtime games recently. But, just to finish off this episode, I just really, I'm glad that Ryan Lindgren is back. He helps out the defense a lot. I thought he played pretty decent tonight, like I mentioned earlier. He was tough as nails. He blocks shots. He does a lot of things all right. And, for this team, just, stay good defensively and, of course, outscore your opponents. That's what I would like to see from this team. But, nonetheless, this is Vin. This is episode number 10 of the Inside the Booth podcast. As always, let's go Rangers, and so long. Goodbye.